All right, looks like
Hello,
we're live.
everyone.
Hi, welcome to the tea party. So if you're here, type in the comments. Type in I'm here, and I also want to know what you're drinking. I'm Kita Centella, founder of Loose Leaf Tea Market. If you haven't met me yet, this is me, and this is Savannah. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, everyone. I'm Savannah. I'm our social media manager, and I work with Kita, and we do like a lot of the social media marketing stuff. And I am drinking inflammation relief today with a little splash of lemon.
That's a cute mug with a little heart on it.
Yeah, I got it from Marshalls. I like it a lot. I use it a lot.
So let me show you my mug. Have you ever heard of the Ember?
Oh, yeah, you told me about that.
Yeah, so it's got. If I showed you the bottom, then I'd dump out my tea, and I don't want to do that. But it's got technology that you control on your phone, and it keeps your tea too. It'll keep your tea warm. It's not like super hot. It keeps it the highest is 145 degrees, but like normally with a regular mug, I can't. I can only drink like a little bit because then it just gets cold, and I'm not gonna. I don't want to drink it. If it's supposed to be hot tea, I want it to be hot. So it keeps it to a nice temperature, and it'll keep it like
That's
that all long.
Yeah, that's really nice because even when you have those thermos mugs, then it's like too hot, and then you're like burning yourself.
I know. I know. Well, with the thermos mugs, I've learned that with certain teas, I can add a little almond milk if it tastes good, like a latte, and otherwise, I just have to add water because it's too hot.
hmm
Yeah, but I'm
My
drinking.
sister actually
Go ahead.
my sister actually recently was had this huge big thermos mug that's like super insulated, super hot, and she was pouring it on her bed and she poured it all over her like leg by accident.
No.
Second-degree burns, like it was the worst pain she'd ever felt. So now I'm like scared to use my thermos because
Yeah,
that
just
keeps it hot.
add some cold water. So I'm
hmm
drinking Cherry Pop, which is our newest tea. It's really good as an iced tea. So that just launched this week. Hi,
Hi,
Jake.
Jake.
Jake, if you want to type in what you're drinking, what kind of tea you're drinking today, that would be awesome. So yeah, the Cherry Pop is. I'm drinking it hot, but you can make it as an iced tea, and the ingredients are really good for helping you to feel more calm. Like it's sour cherry. I don't know if you knew this, but sour cherries are something that promotes sleep.
Yeah, I've heard that actually, and kiwis too, right?
I wouldn't be surprised, but yeah, I know that definitely sour cherries are sleep inducing, and they're also really good for gout. And
Mm.
they have that. Oh, you're brewing blueberry thrill and happy place. That's awesome. Are you drinking it hot or over ice, Jake? Um, what was I going to say? Yeah, the. Hi, Diana. If you want to type in what kind of tea you're drinking, that'd be awesome.
And if you're not drinking tea, you gotta go to the kitchen real quick and make yourself some.
Yeah, I mean, what kind of a tea party would it be without tea?
Exactly.
Yeah, we got to be drinking something. So, whenever you have a question that pops up, any kind of question that you want to answer, go ahead and type it into the comments. Um, okay, I'm going to share this on the screen. Diana, you're going to make Polish herbal tea. I'm curious about this. What is Polish herbal tea? I'm very curious. Savannah, have you ever heard of Polish herbal tea?
No, I haven't.
Yeah,
Maybe just herbal tea from Poland.
right. Maybe so. But in Europe, like my grandmother was born in Russia, well, Belarus, which was in Russia at the time, and she knew all kinds of things about how to brew or all the herbs to drink for wellness and healing. Okay, she said it's a mix of green herbs. That sounds really awesome. Okay, so Jake asked, what is the best way to brew this as an iced tea? Um, Savannah, you make a lot of tea recipes, so do you want to answer that one?
Sure. I have a variety of ways I like to make iced tea. Honestly, I like the quick and dirty method the most, which is just brewing your tea as a hot tea and then throwing it over a bunch of ice. Usually that requires using a little bit more of the herbs than you normally would, just so that it doesn't get too watered down when you throw it over ice. But you can also cold brew it. So you can do the same proportions as it says for hot tea, but just put it in the fridge overnight. And then you'll have nice cold brew tea. But I usually don't think in advance enough for that. So I just like to throw it over ice.
Yeah, it's easy that way. When we used to have a restaurant here, and we made iced tea to order, you can have iced tea of any of the teas that we had, and so we would make it a little bit more concentrated, because you're going to be adding ice, and ice is going to water things down. Unless you're really smart and you make tea or you make ice cubes made out of tea. You have to plan that in advance.
Yeah, I will do occasionally some videos with that, and so I'll have to, the day before I know I'm doing my video day, I'll freeze some tea ice cubes, and that's really awesome.
Yeah, that's really smart, and that way you don't have watered down iced tea. But you can also do a complimentary tea. If you want to brew like one kind of tea, like Jake is brewing Blueberry Thrill and Happy Place, and they taste totally different, but they wouldn't be terrible together. So
I think they might be good, a little bit of the blueberry and then the citrus.
Yeah. So if you were to make one of them as an ice cube and another one as the tea, then that might be really cool. But another fun thing to do would be to brew like a pretty tea as an ice cube, and as it melts, like hibiscus or butterfly pea flower.
Yeah, Lush Lavender, I do that a lot. It's really good.
Oh yeah, Lush Lavender ice cubes.
Yeah, even like a green tea, that would go really well.
Yeah, well, we know somebody that she used to work here, and she would make peppermint tea ice cubes and then put that in her green tea.
Yum.
Smart, right?
Very smart.
Yeah. Yeah, so if you guys have any other questions, feel free to type them in. But we had some questions that people had asked, they filled out a questionnaire. Oh, Blueberry Thrill is very blue. That would be very pretty with the Happy Place, which is very yellow. Or with hibiscus, or you could put hibiscus ice cubes into the Blueberry Thrill. Yeah.
Yeah, keep us posted. That sounds good.
Yeah, definitely. Well, yeah, we had some people that filled out a survey of some questions. So let's answer this one from Mark. He asked, what are the best temperatures for brewing the different types of tea? I think that's a really good question. Mm-hmm. When you're drinking, the one that's the fussiest is going to be green tea, and then second would be like a white tea, because those teas are a lot more delicate. And the reason why you want to be really super particular about the temperature is that if you brew it too hot, you're going to release all the tannins too quickly, and so it's going to become really bitter and unpleasant to drink. So with green teas, you want to brew at, probably around 170 degrees, maybe, between 165 and 185, but definitely not just under boiling, which is 212 degrees. So if you don't have a way to take a temperature, you boil your water, remove it from heat, and leave it for about 5 minutes, maybe 7 minutes, and that will get down to the temperature. But then the other teas, like black tea, you can go right off the boil. Herbal teas, you can go right off the boil. Okay. So Diana says, I don't make green tea properly. Yeah, that's the thing is with green tea, time, amount, and temperature is going to either make or break it. Green tea, you want to do the lower temperature, 170-ish degrees, and brew it for 30 seconds to 2 minutes. You don't want to go beyond that, and sip it as it brews, because if you don't do that, then you could wind up with very bitter tasting tea really quickly. That's why I like to taste the tea while it brews, because that way you can catch it at that place where it is, you hit the sweet spot, where it's got all the good flavors, nutty flavors, aromatic, floral, but you catch it before it gets bitter, because once it gets bitter, you can't unbitter it. And you can't add sweetener and make that go away, because it's just going to be like a bitter tea with honey or sugar in it. So it'll be ruined. So I hope that answers your question, Diana. It's temperature and it's time. And out of the two, for me personally, I think time is more important. So
I think I might have something wrong with me because I love bitter green tea.
no, it's not anything wrong with you. You're gonna, the bitter flavor, those bitter tannins are bound to the antioxidants. So you're getting more antioxidants with the bitterness.
Yeah, I honestly like bitter food. Like I like a bitter dark chocolate. I like a very strong brewed tea. So
Yeah, I like bitter foods too. Like I eat a lot of radicchio and kale and all that, and that bitter flavor in foods. I mean, let us not go on too much of a tangent, but let's go on a little bit of a tangent. Those bitter foods are so healthy for your liver, because they stimulate your liver, they stimulate your whole digestive system. So that if you eat a bitter green salad before your meal, and if you're not drowning it in ranch, make sure you're not drowning it in ranch, it's going to turn on your whole digestive system. It sends that bitter flavor sends a signal to your brain. And from your brain, then it sends the signals to your entire digestive system. Your salivary glands, your stomach will produce the digestive acids, your pancreas, your gallbladder, your liver. That will all be stimulated just from what some people consider a yucky taste in your mouth. Yeah, so I also
even
like
better,
bitter. So
yeah. Even better, like before your meal, add to your kale some apple cider vinegar, some lemon. You're gonna get like boosted benefits too. So
yeah,
and extra yummy.
yeah, so good. Okay, Jake wants to know what is my role with Loose Leaf. I am the founder of Loose Leaf, and so I've had this business for quite a while. It hasn't been Loose Leaf for the entire time that I've owned the business. We rebranded as Loose Leaf in 2015, and so my role here is, I've created the blends, the healing blends. I'm an herbalist, and so I studied the healing plants, and so that's what I do. I run the company and make new teas when it's time to make new teas. And Savannah's role is our marketing manager. And she is such a brilliant asset to the team.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Shall we talk about, let's see, we had a few people, Catherine, Sam, and then you said a bunch of other people from Instagram asked the best tea for curbing appetite and weight loss. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I have something to say about curbing appetite. Your appetite is part of our body's built-in mechanism to let you know when you need nourishment. So if you're hungry, your body is saying, I need food, feed me. So you don't want to turn that off. You don't want to turn off the feeling of hunger, and then, because you need to feed your internal organs. You need to feed your brain and your kidneys and your heart and your liver and your muscles and your bones and your blood and all, like everything. You have to feed it. But you don't want to feed it garbage. So if the problem is, with the appetite that, you're craving sugar, you're eating too much sugar, you're eating overly processed foods, you're eating things that just like your body is like, what the hell is this? Then the problem isn't your appetite. And we're adults, so I'm just talking like we're all adults in the room. So the problem is not the appetite. The problem is the food that's being eaten. Um, However, sugar is sugar can be highly addictive, and so there are teas that can get rid of those cravings for sugar. And we'll talk a little bit. I want to talk about weight loss and tea, and all that stuff, but I want it to be said first and foremost that you do not want to get rid of your appetite, because without it, then your body, which it might be really craving some nutrients, your brain runs on nutrition. Your muscles need protein. Your blood needs nutrients and iron, and our connective tissue needs vitamin C. Like every single part of our body is created and maintained by the food that we eat. And so if it is needing something, but you have shut that, if you have suppressed that mechanism, then you can find yourself in trouble. You can be encountering nutritional deficiencies that can really hurt you in the long run, especially as you get older. Because we have nutritional needs throughout our life. When you're a kid, you need food just to grow your organs normally into adulthood. And then when you're in your reproductive years, then you need a whole other slew of nutrients. So for women, we need calcium, we need iron, along with protein and all the macronutrients. And then men need other, besides all those, they also need zinc for reproductive health. And then when you get older, like postmenopause, during menopause, and then postmenopause, and that's when you don't have that estrogen protecting you, and so your face gets kind of you get wrinkly, your skin sags because the elasticity isn't there. So the need for antioxidants and bioflavonoids and protein, it increases. You don't want to shut it off. You want to eat good food. Okay? You want to eat real food. One of my favorite food quotes is by the author Michael Pollan, Pollan. He wrote quite a few books about nutrition and eating and stuff. And this quote is like, these are words to live by. Eat food, not too much, mostly plants. So live by that. All right, now we can talk about the teas for weight loss. There is a special, unique botanical called gymnema that we use in our 2 teas to get rid of sugar cravings and promote weight loss. And this herb is like a miracle. It contains a compound that fills in the sugar receptors on your tongue, and it blunts your perception of the sweet flavor. So it's going to be like a deterrent when you drink it. You're not going to want to eat something sweet. If you drink a cup of this tea, you swish it around your mouth really good, and then you stick a chocolate bar in your mouth, it'll be like you're eating a bar of wax. If you eat a grape afterward, it's going to taste like a sour grape because the other flavors won't be blocked. So it'll interfere with, or it'll block all the sugars, not just dessert sugars, but also fruit sugars. But it also sends signals to your brain telling you that you do not want sugar anymore. So those cravings will go away with regular use. And our sugar-proof tea, that is primarily designed for getting over the hump of a sugar addiction and really breaking that pattern. And then the other tea that we have is called Sleek and Slender. And that one, it's not a laxative like most weight loss teas are. Most weight loss teas are just garbage. They're laxatives and high caffeine to make you feel like you're, super energized, and it'll, flatten your stomach because you're running to the bathroom all the time. But that effect is temporary. It is not lasting. You're not going to have lasting weight loss, and you can develop a dependency. So that is not the way to go. The botanicals that we use in Sleek and Slender are ones that promote a healthy metabolism. They get rid of sugar cravings. They improve digestion and absorption of your nutrients, and they help to keep your blood sugar balanced. Do you have anything else that you want to add about that, Savannah?
Um, well, I did want to say that a lot of people will use sugar proof after dinner where you would maybe have your wine. It's a really awesome thing to have after dinner when maybe you want a little something, but maybe you wouldn't normally have dessert or a wine, but you're trying to, prioritize your health. It's a great thing to do is to dark brew your sugar proof and then put it over ice, like we were saying. And then you can even add a little bit of sparkling water and it'll give a little bit of that fizz. You can put it in a wine glass. And it's super good that way. So that's a great alternative if you're looking for, you're feeling a little snacky after dinner. And
Yeah.
you're not hungry because that's the other thing is sometimes I know I'm not hungry, but I'm just like, I need a little something. It's kind of good for that.
Right. You're full, but you're not done eating.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I know that feeling where you want to just keep going.
Yeah, you're watching TV and you're like, I want something to just be in my, I just want to sip on something.
Yep. Want to sip on something? Want to just put something in my mouth? Yeah, I totally can
Uh-huh.
relate. Yeah, the tea is very helpful for that. So that's a great tip to drink sugar proof after your meal. And Sleek and Slender is good if you drink it before breakfast and before lunch.
Mm-hmm.
And it contains a little bit of caffeine, not a lot, just a little bit, but it'll turn on your digestive system and it really helps. So I hope that answered that question. And if there's more questions about this stuff, just go ahead and feel free to DM us or send an email, info@looseleafmarket.com, and we'll answer that. Is tea anti-inflammatory? Some of them are very anti-inflammatory. That is such a good question. Um, the antioxidants in the tea family, like green tea, black tea, oolong, pu'er, they all come from the same plant, and the antioxidants definitely have anti-inflammatory properties. Um, but then there's other herbs that are anti-inflammatory as well, such as and we make a few teas. One of them is called turmeric fusion, and the other is called inflammation relief. Turmeric fusion has yeah, you're drinking inflammation relief. Well, what's your experience with inflammation relief?
Yeah, so I work out a lot and so I have some problems with like recovery sometimes. Like I'll do a really hard workout and then my legs start to kind of ache a little bit and I start to notice more problems with like my skin breaking out because my body is having that exercise induced inflammation, which part of it is good because my muscles are repairing themselves and it's a natural process of exercise, but I also don't want to put too much stress on my body. So it's been helping me a lot and I order it myself all the time. I always have it around, so I drink it every day to really help soothe that inflammation, and it's helped me so much. Like I can notice such a big difference with like my ickiness, and I'm drinking it today too because I've been having allergies, and I've noticed like that kind of I feel the inflammation in my body, so it's a great one to just always have around, honestly.
Yeah, yeah. There's no caffeine in that one. And then we have another one, the turmeric fusion, which has turmeric in it, of course, but it also has rooibos, which is it's a red tea, but it's not related to the tea plant, and it comes from South Africa, and that tea is anti-inflammatory. So it's a really good combination. It also has some spices in it, like cardamom, and ginger, and cinnamon. All of those spices fight inflammation naturally. So yeah, absolutely, Jake. You can load up on all kinds. You can get all kinds of anti-inflammatory benefits from drinking a multitude of teas. Another type of anti-inflammatory tea is the one that I'm drinking, cherry pop. Um, Fruits are anti-inflammatory, especially the dark berries like cherries, blueberries, blackberries. That pigment that makes them so dark is anti-inflammatory, anti-carcinogenic, and antioxidant. So it's you want to
All
have
the
as
good stuff.
much as you can. Yeah. Yeah, I hope that answered your question. Drink up. Diana has a good question. Do we have sample size teas? Absolutely. And one of the best things to do is get the Tea Talk box.
Mm-hmm.
So, you want to describe the Tea Talk box, Savannah?
Sure. So we came up with the idea because I started out the company almost a year ago now, and I was making a lot of tea videos, and we started making kind of so many videos with all these different types of teas that people didn't necessarily have like the full variety of them. And so it made it hard for people to follow along with the recipes. So we ended up creating a tea talk box, which has 4 teas every single month based on a wellness theme. This month is energy, April's energy, and then next month is natural beauty. So each month we have a specific theme, and all of those 4 teas are based on that theme. And then all month long on Instagram, we talk about the teas, we talk about the theme, we talk about how to use them, mocktails and lattes. So it's a really fun collaborative thing. I have people giving me recommendations for the recipes, and then I can post and share all the awesome ways to make it. So it's been a really cool thing, and if you want to try out new teas, it's honestly the best way to do it, and you can follow along with us on Instagram and do it with us. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, it's called the Tea Talk box. And honestly, it is one of my favorite kind of products that we have right now because we're really in it. And those are the teas that we feature all month long. You can get all of them all year long, but those are the ones that are really that we're really focusing on so that you really get to sink in a little bit and subscribing to that box. And it's totally affordable too. It's around 20 something bucks, $20 a month, and you're nourishing your body all month long. You're not just it's not like a one and done thing, like, okay, I'm just gonna just drink a cup of tea whenever I think about it. It becomes part of your daily lifestyle. And because tea is natural, it's not like taking a pharmaceutical drug where you're gonna kind of get hit over the head with some kind of an effect and then all the side effects. It's very gentle, but it's very sure. And so you go um, on a regular basis. You just keep with it and stick to it, and those antioxidants and those beneficial anti-inflammatory compounds, those nutritional compounds, those bitter compounds, they are going to make a change in your body, and you are going to notice it. It's I can't state strongly enough how much the power of plants, when incorporated into your daily life, can really make such a beneficial difference in your life. I mean, in the 1980s, I was addicted to alcohol and drugs, and my mentor, I met a mentor who showed me the amazing power of plants, and I was able to get off my addictions by incorporating plants into my life. So it's what you do every day that counts. So it's not just a one and done. So I hope that answered your question, Diana. Do we have multiple varieties? Yes. There are a couple of other samplers that you can get to. You can get the Tea Lovers Tasting Box, which you get 10 single serving teas, along with a really cute mug and a steeper and some biscotti to dunk in your tea.
And this is another actually very common question we get is how many servings are there per each tea in the tea talk box? Mm-hmm. And each tea makes about 3 servings, but we always recommend resteeping, so it could be 6 or whatever. So there's 4 main teas, and then each of those have about 3 to 6 servings.
Yeah. Yeah, if you re-steep, and I always re-steep my tea leaves because they're fresh. We make them here. Like my background, you can kind of see you're seeing behind the scenes right now, but we make them fresh here, and we don't make them in a factory where they're like sitting in a warehouse for years at a time. We're making small batches, super fresh, and because of that, they're very potent. And so if you make 1 cup and then you chuck the tea leaves, then you're losing out on at least one more cup of tea. Some like I've re-steeped some teas like 5 times. The ginseng
Like
green
pour.
dragon. Yeah, or oh my god, yeah, 5 times. 5 times. There's still flavor in it.
Hmm.
But
And then once you're done, you can throw them in your plants. I actually have had this little spot outside my door where I put all my tea leaves for the past 6 months. And there's a noticeable difference with the size of the plants that's come up into in bloom. They are doing so well in the place that I got all the tea leaves. So you can nourish yourself and then go nourish your plants too.
oh, that's so funny. That's really
Hmm.
cool. Yeah, so they're not only helping you. Well, that was one of the questions that we got from somebody, and I think this was somebody on Instagram, and I didn't catch their name. But what do you do with the used tea leaves? Well, you can put them out in your plants. You can put them in, compost them, or just throw them away. I mean, once they're done, if you're super crafty, you can use it to dye fabric, and for paper projects, you can color paper. Something that we did when I was little is we took these pictures out of this book of birds, and we soaked them in tea and then let it dry, and then decoupaged it onto wood. So it was very
Oh, that's so
it was a
cool.
cute little 1970s Girl Scout project. But
Mm,
that's a
cute.
good, you could do all kinds of fun things with it. Um, if it's a green tea, you can grind the leaves up a little bit and then mix it with some clay and use it as a facial scrub, because the antioxidants in the tea are really good for your skin. They're not just It's not just anti-aging on the inside, it's anti-aging on the outside. So you can use it externally. Um, and then like some of the herbal ones, you can grind them up in a smoothie. Like after you brewed your tea. Not all of them. Some of them you don't want to do that, but like if they're leafy, like the one that Diana's drinking with the blackberry leaf, elderberry, apple, raspberry leaf, you brew it as a tea and then throw it in your smoothie. And then you're getting all
Actually, the inflammation relief, I was going to mention this anyway, but the inflammation relief, I found like a new way to love it. It's my favorite way to drink it. And I think it's even better. I might even say it might even be better in the smoothie than it is as a tea, because I'll put it in my like blueberry spinach smoothie. And the way that like once it's blended, you can really feel like the rose flavor and like the mint flavor, all those like subtle flavors really come out because you're blending the whole leaf. And so it takes like my just simple blueberry spinach smoothie to the next level. And I even had my boyfriend try it one time. He was like, "What did you put in this smoothie? It's so good." And it was the inflammation relief. So that's my favorite post-workout drink. If so I would definitely recommend that.
Okay, so Jake, get the inflammation relief and brew your tea, drink it like normal, and then those tea leaves, do like Savannah says, and throw it in your smoothie.
Hmm.
Yeah, I love it. All right, so we've got some more questions from, let's see, we had one from TikTok, and she asked about natural remedies for your teeth, especially cavities. Oh, Robin, yeah, definitely you want to try that.
You definitely should.
And let us know how it turns out. Um, inflammation relief is one of the teas that you could do that with, but daily detox is another good one. And rose latte. Rose latte is good because it's got the rose petals, it's got beet, it's got coconut, and hibiscus. So you can have a lot of liver loving, good fat antioxidants going into your body.
I
Get your
actually for my Thanksgiving family dinner, I made our cake. I made like a healthy cake, and I used some of our pumpkin spice chai blend, and I blended it into the milk that I used, so it had that pumpkin spice chai flavor, and everyone loved it because it was just real, that real good chai spice flavor. So you can get creative with it for sure.
Yeah, we had this local cookie company that was using our chai. It was the naked chai that doesn't have any tea leaves, and they were grinding up grinding it up and making snickerdoodles. So
Mm.
yeah, you can totally do that. Okay. So all right, I'm gonna answer. Yeah, I didn't get her name. It was just her account number, and she asked about natural remedies for cavities and teeth. And so the best thing that I would recommend is like, well, if you've already got cavities, go to the dentist and get that taken care of. But for cavity prevention, green tea is wonderful at preventing dental plaque. My she's not my hygienist anymore. She retired, but she really was a big proponent of natural remedies for your teeth and gums. And she said one of the things that she saw one of her patients had amazing results by brewing green tea and then using it as a mouthwash because it prevents dental plaque.
It is antimicrobial too, right?
It is antimicrobial. It is astringent, so it's going to help to tighten gums, which is really important because if you've got any kind of gingivitis, if you're not flossing, all right, back again to we're adults. If you're not flossing, just floss the teeth that you want to keep. But if you're not flossing, you're also setting yourself up for potential heart problems because that dental bacteria can get into your bloodstream and create an infection around the lining of your heart. So it is one of the major causes of heart disease is not flossing your teeth. Oil pulling, absolutely, Robin. I recommend using either coconut oil or sesame oil or a combination of both. I use both. I do a teaspoon of each. Another thing you can do is get my favorite dental floss. It's Dr. Tung, Tung, and it's floss that when you pull on it, it expands. And so you get it up as high as you can and then go beneath, try to go under your gums a little bit and then give it a tug and it's going to catch stuff. And if you have a problem with your gums like gingivitis and you take some pure tea tree oil and you put a drop of it on your fingertips and then you run that on your floss. And then you floss with the tea tree oil floss and you're getting it up into that subgingival area where that bacteria lives.
Interesting. I actually have never had a cavity, and my sister gets a lot of them. And I'm like, is it because I drink so much green tea?
Genetics. Genetics have a lot to do with it. Yeah, like my mom doesn't have her teeth anymore, and my grandfather doesn't, or he didn't have his teeth. So, but I wanted to keep my teeth. So it's in our family, like I have just about every tooth has a filling in it. So I have this long nightly regimen where it's flossing, it's oil pulling. I have like a little brush, an angled brush to get under there before, and that's before actually brushing. So
that's a lot. That's smart though.
it's a lot. You know what? If you have the genetics, like I have terrible recession, and it's not for lack of trying. It's just everybody's got something. Some people
Yeah.
some people have psoriasis. Some people have heart disease. Whatever. I inherited a dental stuff, so yeah. So I work on it. I'm very committed to having healthy dental hygiene. So Robin, you do that with clove oil, yeah, because clove will help with any kind of pain and inflammation, and clove kills bacteria. So it's all good stuff. So I hope I hope this person was listening to this because that was some good information there. All right. I have a question. This one I got from like a lot of people, and it's about daily detox. Is it gonna make me run to the restroom? That is one of the main questions that we get about daily detox. And so, no, the answer is no. It's not a laxative. The way daily detox works is it nourishes your liver and your kidneys and your lymphatic system, and it helps your body to cleanse itself naturally without being harsh. So yeah, well, it's all good. It's meant for daily use. If it were making you run to the bathroom every day, then that would be called occasional detox, not because you definitely don't want to purge your body. You want to be gentle with your body, and if you give your body what it needs on a regular basis, good nutrition, good sleep, movement, breathing, good thoughts, and then these teas just really bring it all together. If you do that, then you're going to be giving your body what it needs. You know? Savannah, what kind of questions did you were you able to pull from Instagram?
Yeah, so I have a couple. The first one that I got is it's a little more broad, but I guess we could just speak on it still. What are the best daily herbs to incorporate into your diet for women's health? So specifically for women, she's asking.
Well, one of the best teas to drink on a daily basis is Daily Detox for women for two reasons. One of them is because of its beneficial effect on the liver, and the liver regulates hormone balance. So when your blood passes through the liver, it'll either break apart or create the building blocks for hormones. So you want to keep your liver as healthy as possible, and Daily Detox does that. But it also contains an herb called red clover, and red clover supports the estrogen cycle. So it's not estrogen, like you're not, if you're a man that drinks it, you're not going to like grow a set of boobs or anything like that. It's not like that, but it promotes healthy estrogen levels. Red clover is a cousin to soy. And soy is, they talk about all the estrogenic benefits of soy, but red clover has, like soy has 2 of the isoflavones and red clover has 4. So it's maybe even more beneficial, but it doesn't have the negative effects of soy. So, so that for sure. But otherwise, the type of herbs for women's health, it really depends on where in your life cycle you are. Like if you're a woman of reproductive age, then if you drink raspberry leaf tea the 2 weeks before you start on your menstrual cycle, then that's going to help to tone your uterus so that you don't cramp as much. There's an herb called Vitex. The common name is chaste tree, and that, when taken on a daily basis in the morning, helps to regulate the progesterone cycle. That's a slow-acting herb, so you'd want to take that every day, and don't be impatient for results. It might be, if you're during the reproductive years, you want to look at it in terms of months, not days. Okay.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, The next one we have is what are the best teas for the immune system?
We make 2 that are really wonderful. The one that, one of them has more of an affinity with your lungs. The other one is just overall. Elderberry tonic is such a great one for the immune system because, Savannah, are you familiar with this research? Because you do a lot of research. So are you familiar with the elderberry research from the 1980s?
Yeah, hasn't it shown to reduce symptoms of cold and flu in people?
I think you're going to geek out at this, and anybody that likes science is gonna like this. Her name was Madeline Mumshuglu, and she's from Israel, and she studied the effects of elderberries on viruses. And what she found is there's something in elderberry that prevents viruses from penetrating into the cell. Because what happens, it's like the movie Alien, it's like a hijacking of your cells. The virus gets in, it penetrates the cell through enzymes, or I think that's how they do it, and then they get into our DNA, and then they use our DNA building blocks to create more of themselves. So they fill the cell with little little mini viruses, and then it breaks open, and then each of those little viruses goes and infects the other cells. So it's really disgusting what it does. It's invasive, and
Scary.
it's just not cool at all. Boundaries, please. No sense of boundary. So, so elderberry helps to prevent the viruses from penetrating the cells. Now, different immune herbs like astragalus, which is not one in any of our teas, but it's an important one to note. That induces interferon, which is the protect, like when a cell has been ruptured by viral invasion, then the other cells get a chemical signal to put up this shield. And so the shield helps to prevent the virus from being able to penetrate. So it's very complicated, and that's about the extent of my knowledge of how they interact with the immune system, but it's really remarkable. But anyway, back to the elderberry tonic. So the main ingredient in elderberry tonic is elderberries, which is not only antiviral, but it is an expectorant. So if you have a cough, it can help to, get all that stuff up. And it's got herbs that are very soothing, and herbs that stimulate your body's own natural response to an illness. So if you get the flu and you have a fever, well, your fever, that's your immune system trying to fight it. So you don't want to like suppress it unless it gets too high. You want your body to work with the fever to where it can release. And so there's herbs in there that help to promote your body to sweat. You want to break the fever. You want to sweat it out. So it helps with all those things. And then the other tea is called allergy relief. And, it's good for allergies, but it's also good for cough. It's really good for cough. It's good for sinuses. It's good for both upper and lower. And like I had COVID back in September. I drank a mix of both. It was super comforting to just have that hot healing tea. And I feel like without those teas, I would have been sick a heck of a lot longer. So, yeah, I hope that answered that question.
I actually used Sinus Relief the other day as a what's it called? A steam. Because so I brewed my tea a couple times, and then once it got to like the third sip or something, I put it on the pot and I just let it boil, and then I took it off the heat and just let it steam because I was having all this like congestion up in my nose, and it felt so good. It literally felt like a release.
Yeah. Well, I don't know why I forgot about sinus relief. That is so good for that. And I don't even drink a tea of that. I do that as the steam.
Yeah, the eucalyptus, it smells so good too.
Okay, here is a question from Drew Tube Kitchen. Is mate a tea? It is not related to the tea plant, but it's an ilex. So it's related to holly. But it contains, it's stimulating like tea. It's considered to be an herbal tea. Are there benefits to drinking mate? Yes, I haven't studied that one as much, but I know that that it does have like antioxidant benefits, but it is not related to green tea. It's good for opening up the lungs. They drink it in South America. It's like here in America where they drink coffee, and in South America they drink yerba mate. So I know there's other benefits too, and so I'm sorry that I don't have a better answer. When your research should just pull up that it is an herb and not a Camellia sinensis.
Yes, yerba mate is a traditional South American drink made by steeping dried leaves of the yerba mate plant in hot water. It's a popular beverage in countries like Argentina, Uruguay, Paraguay, and southern Brazil. And it's known for its ability to improve mental clarity, increase energy, and boost immune function. So, Kita, you
Okay.
were right.
Yeah, it's very similar to tea.
Mhm.
Yeah, and it's I think that the native people have they like it for other reasons too. But I haven't studied it as much. Or I did study it, but it's been a really long time because we don't carry it. So um, yeah, but just drink it and see how you feel. I know that a lot of people will feel more stimulated with mate than they do with green tea because it is quite stimulating.
Mhm.
So give it a try. Um, Robin says skunk cabbage root is good for. I've heard of that too, but I don't have any experience using that. There was skunk cabbage. I grew up in Connecticut, and there was skunk cabbage outside. And where do you live, Robin? Are you back east somewhere? If you wanted to test it, I would say to try a very small amount. Um, yeah, Drew Tube Kitchen lives in South Florida. Yeah, I think it's worth trying the mate and just take some notes. See how you feel. Drink it in the morning. Don't drink it in the afternoon because caffeine stays in your system for up to 12 hours. Robin lives in Massachusetts. Yeah, you'll find it there. Do some more research on it and then dig it up, wash the root, and then take a little teeny tiny sliver. Here's an interesting way to see if your body would react negatively to it is you take a little teeny tiny sliver and you put it on your gum. And you just like if you get any kind of irritation, or I mean, even before you put it in your mouth, like you put it in like your inner arm and see if your body reacts negatively to it or not.
Mhm.
But there's other things that you can use if you're not sure. Um, I think it's always a good idea to go with tried and true. A little earlier I was talking about having this business for a long time, and it used to be more herbal, less tea. Even though we still had a ton of teas, I had a lot of herbs, and there were some that are important to use, but they have a lower safety margin, and so they require more hand holding with like you don't want to just dispense things like that willy-nilly. So over the years I've just really gotten rid of the things that have a narrow safety margin and are generally regarded as safe on a pretty broad basis, as long as you're using them appropriately, as long as if you're on medication or you're under a doctor's care for some kind of a condition or you're pregnant. Just because they're natural doesn't mean they're safe for you. So make sure that you get clearance from your practitioner before incorporating new herbal teas into your life. But beyond that, yeah, they're non-toxic. They have a very wide safety margin. So with the things like skunk cabbage root, I think that is strictly medicinal. You're not going to have, I wouldn't make a pleasure tea out of it or like a wellness tea that tastes good. And I like to make our wellness teas be tasty as well because if they taste terrible, you're unlikely to drink it even if it's helpful. So, um,
Uh, Another question we have is from Instagram. Can you mix your teas?
yeah, yeah,
And I say, of course. That's what we love to do.
yeah. Well, like if you take matcha, you can mix matcha with just about any tea.
New
Um,
blog posted today.
yeah, that was a really good blog post. Has all kinds of good info on there. Um, yeah, like you can take things that are complementary. Like you don't want to mix things that are weird, like a super medicinal tea with a fruity tea. Like I heart pomegranates is very fruity, and so that would be very complementary with blueberry thrill or
Or even a
strawberry.
green tea.
Yeah, or a plain green tea, but it might not be good with something that's minty, or it might not be good with chai. So it's kind of
Hmm.
like food where like you can mix things without harm, but do you really want to? So
And it depends on your
smell them again.
individual taste buds too. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's like, you could take a bowl of salad and you can put a scoop of ice cream in it and then grate some fresh garlic on it. I mean, you can do that. It might not be very good.
Hmm.
Okay. What is the preferred plant-based milk for lattes? Your favorite is the preferred. So if you like coconut milk, then that's the preferred one. I know that Savannah, you use a lot of soy milk.
Hmm.
I use almond
I
milk.
get I get the 365 unsweetened soy milk, and it has like a little bit of vanilla in it, and it's really good because it has extra protein in it. So I like to just it helps me like get my protein throughout the day. But yeah, I love it. It's so creamy.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's no wrong answer. It's really what do you like and what's working for you. Coconut oil, MCTs, go for it. I mean, that's a very healthy option. Um, as long as it's a good coconut milk that doesn't have a lot of sweetener in it, and make sure that it doesn't have carrageenan. Carrageenan is derived from a seaweed, but it's been shown to have and it's been shown to cause inflammation, especially in the gut. So just make sure that it's like super clean and is just coconut oil without any added yucky stuff. Yeah, but any kind of plant based milk, just go for it. We did a blog post on that. It's your guide to plant based milks. Savannah, are you able to put in a link in the little comment zone?
I don't think I am. I've been wanting to this entire time. I can
Uh,
actually probably go from my phone though.
okay.
Let me see if I could do that.
Yeah. Yeah. That guide to the plant based milks is good because I think I've covered 13 of them. And one of them is banana milk. And if you've never made banana milk before, that's really
So
good. So
good.
yeah, you have a different way of making it than I made it too. Like I made it with like a third of a banana and a little bit of nut butter and a pinch of salt.
That's probably the better way to do it, but I like it more like a smoothie. So I put a bunch of banana and I put some tea in. I've done like a lush lavender one, I've done a matcha one,
Yeah.
and it's more like a banana smoothie, but we'll call it banana milk.
Yeah, yeah, I
I
did
found
it
the
just
blog
like
and I'm gonna
that.
try to send it.
Okay. Yeah, just type it in as a comment. That'd be awesome.
And then
And
while I'm doing that, another question we got is, do you have any yummy and beneficial teas that aren't big? I guess we have
uh,
plenty of teas that aren't big on mint, but I guess just talking about um, some anti-inflammatory teas that are not big on mint.
yeah, oh my gosh, totally. There's two. And I mentioned this one earlier. Turmeric Fusion has no mint in it, and it's very yummy. It has like a chai flavor, but not. It has some chai spices, but doesn't taste just like chai. It's a lot more cardamom forward than chai forward, but it fights inflammation. And yeah, there's the link for the plant based milk. Um, yeah, that one's really good. And then one that has some caffeine is called Lucky Morning Spice. And Lucky Morning Spice is another one it's black tea, but it's got turmeric, it's got some cardamom in it, and that's really very yummy. And then what do you call it? Elderberry tonic is anti-inflammatory. Elderberries are anti-inflammatory. All the fruit teas are anti-inflammatory, and a lot of them do not have mint. So yes, tons. Okay, were there any more questions? It looks like we have 2 minutes left for this tea party. So,
One last one that we got, it was a comment and a question.
Okay.
and she said you guys should sell an Earl Grey tea blend. It's so delicious, and I feel like you could definitely add in some good benefits to that as well.
Yeah. Yeah. We can. We can. We should. We had one, and we can. Yeah. I've been thinking about doing an Earl Grey blend. So yes.
Stay
Yes.
posted.
That's the future. Stay tuned. Yes. So this was our first virtual tea party, but this definitely is not our last. So please tell your friends, your tea loving friends, to join us. We will put out an email and on social when the next one will be, but it will be very soon. And because all of you were so amazing and participated. We have a special code for you to shop today only. This code will expire at midnight today, and we are on Pacific time. So if you're on the East Coast, you have plenty of time to use it. The code is called PARTY, PARTY. So you go on our website and you shop for your favorite teas and use code PARTY, and you'll get 20% off your tea. So
Yay!
that's just good until the end of today. So if you're catching the replay of this, I'm sorry, you should have been here. Should have been here when it was live. Yeah, that will expire today at midnight on April 20th. So thank you all for participating. And yeah, all right.
Sounds good.
All right.
And I put that link to the matcha blog that we talked about, and then I put the link to the dairy-free milks as well. So make sure to check that out.
Okay, perfect. All right. Thank you.
Bye, everyone. Thanks for
Bye.
coming.